Hello, hello, what is up, what is good? We got a new chapter of One Piece. This is 1149. We start with a color cover spread here. A bunch of girl characters working in a maid cafe with some of the lads patronizing it. The prices seem to be outrageous, as one suggests, with Nami working there. She wrote My Gold Mine on Luffy's Omurice and is writing the character for money or gold. uh, Kinboru, I think. Kinzuru? Oh, I think it's like money flowing in. So obviously very aware that they're ripping everybody off. While they sneak around trying to get these outrageous prices, Bonnie seems to be carrying a tray that actually says rip off. Good stuff. Very cute one, very silly. Interestingly, we don't have all the Straw Hats present and accounted for. This is an interesting little subset of the crew. It's a good thing Brook isn't here. He would also probably blow all of his bones on this. Bones being slang for cash. Whatever. Let's move on to the chapter itself. This is 1149, as I said. The title is 1 Second. Everyone is shocked besides Nami. Nami is the only person who knows Mr. Ya of this assemblage, having been there when Zoro and Luffy squared off against him. Somehow Mr. Ya's attacks. Maybe it's just Haki. I don't know, though. I feel like Haki being enough to work against the regenerative powers of the Holy Knights doesn't seem rare enough. It seems like they would have encountered lots of enemies that could infuse their attacks with Haki over the years. It wouldn't be such a shocking, completely unprepared for thing. Bro got his arm cut right off. That's embarrassing. Got slashed down the middle of the chest. That's embarrassing. And despite this awesome blow, potentially fatal blow, Scopper just says he's rusty. Interesting. Sweet start to the channel, though. Chapter? Awesome. I like his pose afterwards. That's probably going to be the thumbnail. You've seen it here first. Okay. Saint Sommer's fighting back. Not going down that easy, as probably is expected. Manages to block himself with thorns while still kind of laying debilitated on the ground. Mountain Eater, what are you doing in Elbaf? That's his epitaph, the Mountain Eater. Let's not get bogged down with boring questions. Bro, it's because you're raising your giant child. Okay, so they square off. Saint Sommer seeming to do pretty well, fighting with just one arm and his big thorny sword. Manages to repel Scopper's attacks. Totally pushing Luffy and Zoro around. Father a boy at school named Colin. Scopper Gaban, the left arm of the King of Pirates, the counterpart of Raleigh. His attacks are doing damage, but how? Okay. Robin trying to escape. She's the only one covered in thorns. Everybody else is wrapped up because of Gunko's powers. Alright. Ho! Sick! Chops his head and arm off. Manages to bounce off of these spiky thorns. Again, it's like, man, the thorn fruit is so simple. It really feels like a pre-time skip, like even first half of time skip enemy devil fruit power. But evidently it's so strong that like he can't just kind of ignore the damage that these thorns would do if he lands on them. So classic. Don't want to land on the spiky floor. Also, he cuts his sword in half. Beast. Okay. He beat him. Now, I don't think he beat him that easily. He clearly has some capability to stop the regenerative power, but I don't think that's trivial. And I think even if it is like Haki, it's like using an insane, overwhelming amount of Haki infused in your weapon to overcome the regenerative power. So it's not maybe trivial that every single swing he does has that quality infused in it. So yeah, maybe like the arm cutting off, that's gonna stick. But I think in general, it's a little too anticlimactic. And I think we're meant to be encouraged to think that this went a little too easily with everybody shocked, reacting. He beat him! Also, his devil fruit power is not dispelling, it seems. Not right away, at least. Okay, Chopper runs off, transforming to get out of the Gunko's bindings, it seems. She didn't think of that. Silly or deceptive. Gotta be a crucial secret. Okay. Oh no. The library, in fact, is on fire. Oh man. I didn't know they'd go. I don't know. It didn't seem like they would go this far. I had this read that Sir Killingham would be not that detestable because he's so goofy. And one imagines the fight against him is going to be so goofy. And typically, they leave the truly heinous acts for characters that you can kind of like seriously hate. Whereas Killingham already, I think, has some endearing qualities. But no, the whole thing going up in flames. Killingham laughing. Robin seeing this in the distance. It can't be this bad. It can't be this bad. There's got to be some trick, some extra thing they can do. Words of our forefathers, all of our history. Oh man. Ranja blaming herself. This is horrible. All right. He marks his rebellion. Gunko beats a hasty retreat. Still time to put the fire out in the library. Save the children, Elbaf in the process, as long as it's instant. Okay. He has to take out Gunko immediately. This is tense. And it's kind of interesting because normally in scenarios like this, until we get into kind of like the meat of battles, Oda doesn't usually rest major kind of climactic decisions or moments or like will it or won't it happen breaking points on this sort of like it just has to happen in time, you know? Or rather, that does happen, but usually it's sort of like cut and dry because the scenario has been prepared in such a way. For example, and this is the first example that comes to mind, when Pell sacrifices himself to take the bomb and fly up into the sky, there's no sense in the world that it's like, ah shit, he did that too late. And he tried to sacrifice himself, but the bomb exploded before he could get very far away from the city, and the city is still wrecked, right? That would just kind of be silly from a storytelling perspective. You build up these moments where it's kind of like critical chance or failure because there's a story propulsion to the attempt being made. And I think what's so disconcerting and so uncanny about this scenario is like I there's not like a reason that Mr. Yaw is going to be able to accomplish this. There's no kind of like trade off where it's like, oh, okay, Mr. Yaw abandoned something else, therefore he's going to be able to succeed. Conversely, there's no auxiliary reason why he won't. They didn't set it up that, I don't know, he's injured or he underestimated something and he made some sort of tragic downfall type remark that you're like, that's going to come back and bite you. It, to me, at least, in this moment, I feel like it's very genuinely ambiguous whether or not he's going to succeed here or not. Because the story has been riding this wave of escalating tension and escalating heinous deeds. And it's not really clear if we're hitting a point where it's like signal to counterattack, Mr. Yaw's going to make things better, or St. Somers is going to come back to life. He's going to regenerate from that attack. They've got, the hostages. They've set the library on fire. Things are just going to get much, 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 much worse before all of that. It's really unclear to me. Like, the entire direction of this arc, I think, is still a little unclear. And I think a big part of that is because there's a whole other plotline that, yet again, we haven't touched in a few weeks, of Loki, of the actual past of King Harold, of the secrets of Elbaf and stuff. And it's like, it doesn't feel like this arc is moving into a climax of, we beat the Holy Knights, the day is saved, we're done at Elbaf. It feels much more like this is just one of myriad things happening. And so whether it flares up into a much worse situation or this kind of gets nipped in the bud before it gets any worse, no idea. What is about to happen? Let's turn the page. Colin tries to reassure his poppy, his daddy. I'm a warrior, so beat this creep. A life once lost will never return. So adorable and huge. What a gift you've given me, Ripley. My lifelong treasure. Okay. Colin starts getting attacked. Oh. But in an instant, he recognizes that Gunko's threat is real. In that instant, he saw the next instant where Colin is literally murdered in cold blood by Gunko, who less and less seems like she's actually an undercover revolutionary or secretly an ally or anything like that. They've got to walk back some pretty heinous deeds at this point. Mr. Yaw throws down his axe. And is perhaps killed. So yes, we are on the path of things are getting much worse before they get better. What the hell? Okay, so Gunko, good deep down confirmed. She's been abducted from... Okay, remember I was like, we've seen these summoning circles before in the impoverished country called like Skin and Bones or something, some pun or something, where Brook got blasted by Kuma. First off, it was never really clear, why did Brook get sent there? Kuma obviously had visions in mind for the crew's training, and we may be seeing the intent, the deep secret intent of Kuma sending Brook there. That's where his music career started. That's where he first got fans. He lifted that country out of poverty, I think. They were trying to summon him with a circle, not dissimilar to the ones that the Holy Knights use. And it seems like Gunko was a kid there that was like kidnapped and brainwashed by the world government. Brook is recognizing Gunko as a kid. Gunko's broken memories are coming back to her, breaking through the brainwashing. Yeah. Saint Sommer is still alive. Killingham recognizes that Imu is now fully possessing Gunko. So shit is like getting worse in a very, very drastic way that I did not anticipate at all. Shit's crazy. Terrifying. No idea where they go from here. Imu is like potentially, the final boss of the whole series. It's probably got to be Imu, Blackbeard, or Shanks. I think those are the only ones that make any sense. And certainly Imu is going to be one of the villains on that tier in the end. And now they're kind of here. They've like manifest. And Gunko and Imu also shared something in the arrows. That when Imu was fighting and trying to stop Sabo from running away, they were using the same kind of like strange, cartoony, almost not of this world arrow attacks. And does that mean anything? So there's like a lot of little dots to connect here. Gunko knowing Brook when 2 years ago. Or no. No, I'm making assumptions. I'm making big assumptions. Brook didn't know Imu when he was sent by Kuma to that island. Brook knew Imu before he died. I think that's like human Brook. I don't think that's skeletal Brook. I think that's human Brook. What the fuck? Oh, this is getting crazy. Yeah, I think that's human Brook. Imu remembers him from long, long ago. Because that's decades ago. That's not 2 years ago. That's decades ago. I just was like, it must be from then because of the summoning circle thing. That there was already kind of a connection there. But this is crazy. What the hell is going on, bro? What the hell is going on? I don't know if I can speculate too much more. I think all bets are off. And trying to ascertain this Imu possession thing, is this like, they're gonna rain apocalypse down on Elbaf because of Imu's like impatience? Or is this just a temporary thing, like an install that's gonna wear off? Are they gonna be able to shake Gunko to her core by having Brook play for her or something? And dispel Imu because of her true personality resurfacing, and then she becomes a good guy, and that resolves the situation. That feels pretty likely. I think, actually, I was like, we shouldn't speculate. I am going to speculate. I think that plotline makes most sense to me. Because otherwise, this idea of she has this deep connection with Brook, but it's for naught, that seems a little too bleak. So I think we're going to see... And this kind of explains why she was so extra cruel to Brook. That despite being a fan, she also is... it seems like the brainwashed personality is trying to snuff out any potential for her to remember this connection that she has. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. This will be their out. Brook will save the day. But I think we're nowhere near done the adventures on Elbaf. As I said, this is still only one of 2 major plot lines. We haven't returned to the other one in quite a while. But if you think that this arc is going to end with them beating the Holy Knights, and then Luffy's like, what's going on here? I guess we gotta go. Alright, see ya. I'm not going to hear your story. We're not going to resolve anything with Loki. Goodbye. That seems unlikely. Okay. Let's look forward to next week. Good stuff. See you then.